Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a different kind of video. I'm going to be sitting down, as you can tell, and talking your heads off. So this will be a very long, detailed chat about my experience in the journaling community, and as I mentioned in my last video, why I decided to stash a lot of my stationery and the steps I'm taking to kind of simplify my entire journaling system. So, about a while ago, maybe a year or so ago, I realized that I forgot how to journal in a way. I've been journaling since I was 11 years old. I've always had some type of notebook, pens, diary. I've been collecting them since I was little, but I've never really kept a journal until I was about 11 years old. For a while, writing how I felt, what I thought, so on, felt really natural and fun. When I started creative journaling and posting on social media, that was fun too until, again, I just started feeling like this weird, unspoken, overwhelming pressure. Um, it kind of felt like being car sick. It's the only way I can describe it. Like the motion of it just wasn't fun. It just gave me like a queasy feeling. I stopped writing what was actually in my mind, in my heart, whatever, and started writing more for the spread, for the aesthetic of everything. So I'm going to show you some of my journals and kind of give you a backstory of where it all started. So this here was my very first journal that I actually kept. I had had a couple before this one, but I wouldn't write much in it, just like a line or two, and then I would end up throwing it away because I didn't know how to journal. I didn't think I had anything fun or exciting to write about, but this one I kept because my cousin gave it to me, and because we were really close, we are still close. Uh, but because she gave it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to keep this now. And I filled it up. I don't know how long it took me, but as you can see, I had lots of different colors in here. I still remember my first pack of ballpoint pens and all the colors in there, which is funny because now I like fine point. I used to hate fine point pens, but now I prefer them. But yeah, this was my very first one at 11. And then when I turned 14, I got this one on my birthday. And I kind of wrote about the same thing, just boys, celebrity crushes, family things, um, friends. I won't open this one because I have like stuff tucked in. And I actually tried filming this video yesterday like 5 times. But if I open this, it's all going to fall out. So looking through them is just a reminder of how freely I wrote back then. I read about, a lot of different random things, dreams. There's a page in my first one that my friend and I both wrote in one day when I spent the night. We didn't want to like talk out loud, so we were just passing my journal back and forth. The only thing I may have worried about back then was just my handwriting. I was always trying to change my handwriting. Um, or which color pen will look best that day. I had like this big container of gel pens with a lot of different colors, and I wasn't worried about having an aesthetic. I was just writing. A couple years later, I was in Michael's one day looking for a new journal to start, and I came across the kind of like duplicate version of the Traveler's Notebook. I didn't know that's what it was at the time, but I thought it was kind of weird and strange and too narrow, so I didn't get it. And it was still kind of in the back of my mind, but it wasn't until I came across um, a very popular channel. If you've been in the journaling community for a while, you know Alice. She goes by Hello Alice, Hallo. And I saw she was using the Traveler's Notebook. And then I suddenly realized how cool it actually was. And I liked the way she made it work, the way she wrote in it and decorated it. And I kind of just went down the rabbit hole of Travelers Company's journals. So then I decided to try the knockoff version first. So I went back to Michael's, and I think it was on sale for like $10. I bought it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to try it. I went back the next day, picked it up, and I don't think it was even like a full year, but a couple months later, I bought an actual leather Travelers Company cover, and I have not looked back. And after that purchase, it completely changed the direction of my journaling and how I would view writing, decorating, so on and so forth. After discovering the Travelers Company, I don't remember exactly when I joined the community, but I started making videos on YouTube with my dupe first, and then, of course, with an actual Travelers Company cover. I discovered all the stationery shops, washi tape, stickers, handmade paper, limited edition covers that I tried to find and purchase, even though I was like years late. And everything you could think of that went in a journal, I tried it. I eventually got into rubber stamps, which I thought were kind of ugly at first, but now I have quite a few. And it became something I really enjoy doing. I enjoy taking pictures, posting, and my account on Instagram became, I would say, just like a little popular, not super, but I feel like I met a lot of people and was my page was a little bit known um, in the community, and I talked to and was kind of friends with a lot of big people in the journaling community. So it was a pretty fun time, and I just enjoyed creating. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about when journaling stopped feeling like journaling. It started feeling more of like a burden or a responsibility because, not posting on social media, you start losing followers, or you start journaling when you really don't feel like it, or you really don't want the camera there, but you put it up anyway. I didn't do it all the time, but I did it pretty often. And I was always thinking about how it would look on social media. So if you were in the community years ago, if I'm not mistaken, like the aesthetic was neutral tones, beige colors, soft floral like, spreads. And I became obsessed with aesthetics, making everything look a certain way, having a certain style. I started thinking about how my page should look versus what I actually wanted to write. And I started decorating and making spreads, even though I had nothing to write about. So I kind of tried to force myself to write something. It was just overall a strange experience. I even wanted my handwriting to match the aesthetic of the spread. So anywhere else, I would write kind of like, crazy, my normal handwriting. But in the spread, I would make it look more curated, more pretty, or try to write like other people in the community. Kind of stopped sounding like myself in my journals. I was trying to sound like soft and gentle and all like just not how I normally talk. Using phrases like my dear or my love, like I don't use that in real life. Every day when I'm talking, I don't say that. And so, because the spread itself looked pretty, I tried to change what I was thinking or feeling to kind of match that. I realized I was actually writing in a way that wasn't me, and it all started feeling fake and forced. So, around last year, sometime, or even before then, I realized I wasn't liking or enjoying creative journaling anymore, especially my standard size because it was so big and I felt like I had to fill every blank page. I thought creating in my passport size would be easier because it was smaller, but I just felt the exact same way. So, whether I was in standard or passport, I just wasn't in the mood, or it wasn't flowing naturally like it did when I first started. I forced myself to kind of like rush through my journal because I didn't want to waste an insert, but that wouldn't work either because I would just end up not liking what I was making, what I was trying to create. Eventually, I finally realized and told myself that I don't have to make spreads. I don't have to keep doing this. And it was kind of scary at first, or just weird because I still enjoy my covers and things like that. But um, I had convinced myself that journaling had to look a certain way. Every page needed to be perfect and balanced. I needed to fill the book or the spread as much as I could. But that's, of course, not why I started journaling. I started journaling because I loved having somewhere to put my thoughts, to work through things without interruption, just to have that open flow to put on paper what it is that I was really feeling or just thinking at the moment. So I've stepped away from creative journaling for now. I haven't made a spread in a couple months, and even when I try, I still get that same feeling. So I'll just stick something down that I want to keep. I might try to write or put some stamps around it, but I usually don't go much further than that. So these days, as you probably recognize from my latest videos, I more so enjoy creating or decorating in my daily log. And that actually started in 2023 with this planner right here. So I'm going to open this. Yeah, 2023. So 3 years ago. I've never been the type to plan. I might write a to-do list, but I just kept it as a way to keep track of the day and what happened. I was really shocked at myself that I kept up with this. I wasn't sure how I was going to kind of respond to having this because I had tried planners before and had always failed. So when I got this, it was just so easy to decorate, to write about my day. And I guess it's kind of like how I was journaling at 11. It's just you have a calendar version of a diary. Um, so maybe just having a layout helped me. I don't know. It's kind of strange to explain, but this is much more fun than doing spreads and opening an insert to a big, huge blank space. So that's where my daily log came from. And let's see, I am currently in my passport in a sterling ink planner. So I'll open this and show you. I know you guys have seen this before, but I'm going to show it again. So I don't know, it's just something about doing this that it makes it much more fun. It's simple and it's very quick. And I just enjoy it much more than being in, a blank insert. So if I'm trying to learn how to journal again, what does that actually look like for me? The first thing I did was not buy a new notebook. I didn't come up with a new system or anything like that. It was actually the exact opposite. So a couple months ago, actually, it wasn't that long ago, maybe a few weeks ago, I decided to clean out my room, and I wasn't just trying to just stash stationery. I have just always wanted to kind of get rid of things, but I got rid of a lot of stationery. So washi tape, some stickers, paper, handmade paper, little tools and things like that. I I sold and let them go. For a long time, I held on to those things because I thought I might need them again, or what if you want them back? And honestly, I can't even remember all of the stamps I gave away. There's some, but it was a lot that was just sitting on my shelf in my drawers, and I hadn't touched them in months, maybe even years. So that question of what if is what was keeping me from letting things go and holding on to all that stationery. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper and say that even as a Christian, the Bible talks about not being too attached to worldly possessions, to earthly things. And I felt not a huge conviction to, just toss everything, but just like a little nudge to pull back from buying stationery so sporadically, um, being more responsible over my finances and not just accumulating so much stuff. And I even caught myself thinking about like what would happen if I lost all my stationery tomorrow or something, if we had to do an emergency evacuation, like what would I be able to grab? Or if I couldn't grab anything, how would I get everything back? And that kind of bothered me a little bit. And then I realized that maybe I should have less and not have so much so that I'm not really attached to just stuff. There are still some items I have that I'm thinking about selling, but for now, I already feel lighter. And in a way, it kind of goes beyond stationery. I've always been drawn to the idea, the lifestyle of minimalism. And even before I got heavy into journaling, around age 17, no, I was journaling at that age. Anyway, around age 17, when I got on Tumblr, I came across minimalism. And ever since then, I've always been trying to reach a certain point for me personally. And I don't think I've gotten there yet, but I feel like I have started. I don't like clutter. I don't just have just I don't like having a lot of stuff, even if it's like neatly organized and put away. Just the thought that I still have a lot of things floats around in the back of my mind. Another reason I decided to destash and clean out my room and throw stuff away, you might think I'm thinking too deep into it or too far ahead, but I like to have a family one day. And if the world is still here decades from now, when I'm gone and, my kids are still here, I don't want them to just have like a ton of stuff to have to go through, trying to figure out what's valuable, what's not, what they might want to keep. I don't want them to feel guilty about throwing things away just because, it was mine. If they don't want something, I want them to be able to throw it away without, any pressure. I rather leave behind like memories, like my journals, pictures, things like that, and have my physical, personal touch to it versus just like, I don't know, a random thing because I thought it was aesthetic 30, 40 years ago, if that makes sense. So, if they want to read my journals, they can. If they want to toss them or maybe even burn them, I don't know, whatever they decide to do because I won't be here. But I'd rather they just have like a couple of crates of notebooks to go through versus just thousands and thousands of items. I also realized that getting into the journaling community opened up an endless cycle of just buying, selling, buying, selling, throwing away. Um, at first, I didn't think anything of it because I kind of gave myself excuses of, this is just your hobby, this is what you do, you are creative, you know, you can't be a creative person or an artist without tools. That's kind of like telling a painter to have a limited amount of brushes. Not exactly the same, but I think you get the example. And hobbies cost money, especially from where I like to order my stationery from. Unfortunately, we have the import duties, and so it just got more expensive. But again, I would just kind of give myself excuses to keep buying, to keep um, collecting. And, it's not bad to collect things or to have a hobby. But for me, it was just kind of getting out of control. And I also realized that having new items gave me more content. And even though I didn't buy stationery specifically to make content, when I got the package in the mail, it's in the back of my mind that, oh, this can be a video, this can be an unboxing, this can be a reel, more pictures. And the more you post, the more you grow, and it was just constant. After a while, I noticed that buying things and creating content kind of started feeding into each other, and it became a cycle that was actually kind of annoying to me. And if I'm being honest, it made me notice that I was operating in some way in covetousness, which is something the Bible also speaks of. And I would see stationery, and it wouldn't even be my style, but I could see somebody else have it or see it in their journal and think, oh, that's actually really pretty, suddenly realize the beauty of it and went to go buy it. Thankfully, though, I never got into fountain pens, but still, I have considered getting them just because they look really nice. But I actually did buy a couple of fountain pens. They were cheap ones just so I can test it, but really wasn't my thing. However, there is always going to be another person out there with a better collection, better cover, um, a limited edition notebook, and I just want to stop asking myself what to buy next and just kind of enjoy what I already have and use it as much as I can before I try to buy something else. So I say for me personally, um, getting back to the basics isn't, getting rid of everything or saying that I'll never buy stationery again or decorate a page, but just not being driven by consumerism or overconsumption, uh, or just having stuff for the sake of having it. I just want to go back to writing, honestly, like I did when I first started, and having more freedom and kind of less to worry about. I want it to come from my real life. It's not just sitting down because I'm making a spread for no reason. I want it to have meaning now. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know if I'll ever get down to absolutely one cover, one notebook. I don't think I will, at least not for now. I'm just focusing on what I already have. And when I'm finished with my current inserts and notebooks, I would like to go back to keeping my system very simple. I'm even considering selling this cover for a plain brown one. I don't know yet. I'm kind of attached to this one for certain reasons because I was there when they released it, and I love road trips. And I thought it was a limited edition, but I think it's part of the lineup now. But I don't know. I have my two Stalogy notebooks that I like to finish. This one is for poetry. This one is kind of like brain dump catch all journal that I've been enjoying actually. But those are the systems that I would like to keep. I would like to keep a daily log, and I would like to keep a catch all for deeper thoughts, poetry, and I don't know, maybe I will get down to just two covers. How funny, because if I actually go back to the basics, I will get down to what I started with, which was a camel and a brown. I've had this one since I started using TNs. This one I repurchased because my old one didn't patina in a way that I liked. But yeah. And I don't know where that will leave this one because I do love it. I like the feel of it. That's what I like. Because I've conditioned it quite a bit, and now it just feels really nice to hold in my hands. But anyway, instead of asking what can I buy next to better my collection, I want to just enjoy what I already have. More than anything, I want journaling to feel like it did when I first started. Fun, easy, simple. I would just lay in my bed and write whatever came to mind. Felt like I was in my own world when I was journaling. And I like to get back to that feeling. Um, not worrying about how a page looks, about certain stickers, or if it will match my aesthetic. I just want to get back to writing my honest thoughts and feelings. Before I end this video, I would like to kind of talk about my channel and the direction it might be heading in. Since I started with creative journaling, it's kind of scary to think about what I'm going to do now. I'm not saying I'll never feel myself decorating, because as you have seen, I do like to feel myself, in my planner, my daily log. But just sitting down to do a creative spread randomly, I probably won't do that for a very long time. I would like to do videos like this more often. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not used to being in front of the camera. And this is did I say this already? My sixth time trying to do this video. I did it 5 times yesterday and today. No matter what happens, this video is going up, so I'm sorry in advance. And if you made it this far, thank you. But I would like to do more videos like this and kind of talk about just the experience of journaling, tips, tricks, advice, just things like that. I enjoy watching those videos, and I would like to start doing them a lot more. So I hope you are willing to stick around for the future of this channel. If you are someone that has forgotten how to journal, I hope this video helped you, and maybe it will help you release and let go of things that you no longer need anymore, so you can focus on what's important, which is your everyday life and not how big your collection is. Okay, so starting with the stationery that I have left over, this is what I own now. Some rubber stamps that really make more sense to use in my daily vlog. I have a brown ink pad there, extra clip. So yeah, these are the ones I found myself using the most, like my favorites. And I'm really satisfied with just having these. I have a few more that aren't able to fit in there. This one was from my friend, and I think these two I got on my trip to New York. So these are the stamps I own now. And then with the ink pads, I have these 3 large ones. And these small ones. For washi tape, this is all that I chose to keep. The rest I sold. And then I might have shown it a while ago, but I did have like 2 plates, but now I just have this one. The other one is gone. This is all I have to clean off my rubber stamps. I remember, or I don't know if you guys remember, I used to have like the big one, but I just have this one now. So when I'm done, I just, brush them off. And then I only have this pouch here. I don't have my medium sized one anymore, which I am glad I don't, but I feel like I'm gonna miss that color. So I don't know if I'll ever swap out and like sell this one and get this size in the gray, but for now I just have this one with tape, eyelet. I don't know what these are called, but I really haven't used these in a long time either. I only have 2 zebra print pins left. The black one is gone. My other ones are gone. I don't know if I'll keep these for much longer. I kept these because I was using them in one of my Stalogy notebooks to kind of like highlight because I couldn't find a multicolor pen. So these are freebies. I kept 1 or 2 markers because I actually use these in my daily log. This was actually the last roll of washi tape that I got when I ordered my newer stamps. It's all in my previous video. Then I have mechanical pencil and like my tools that I use. I use my ruler. This is for print on stickers, scissors, and a cutter. Small, oh, that's still there. Small cutting board. I still have a larger one in my computer desk, and then back here I just keep extra rubber bands and what are these things called? Ties? I don't know, but those are back there. And then of course I have some extra stationery like in little pouches and things like that. In here, in this one, I think I have some in here. Mostly freebies. Oh, and this washi tape. This I've had for a very long time. These are the ones I actually sold. I kept these 3, blue, white, and beige, but the other ones are gone. And then I sold all of these except for that one. So it's still kind of good that I have this in case I ever feel like I miss those washi tapes. I can just use a little bit off of these. And as for pins, I just have my Uniball Signal one that I've had for thousands of years. And then these are the covers that I have. My passport, standard brown, and standard camel. And then my 2 Stalogy notebooks. So that is everything I have now, and I don't know if I'll ever get down to 1 cover or 2. Probably not, because this one I've had since I started. This one I've thought about just getting a regular brown one, like selling this one and getting a regular brown one, but I'm not sure yet. And yeah, that is pretty much it. That's all I have, and that is my video on destashing and getting back to the basics of journaling. And next year, I can't wait until I am done with this. I can just be in these 3 here. I hope you guys liked this video. I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.